Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Snods here, back with another video. Today we're going to do another tier list. I did a tier list the other day on quarterbacks and halfbacks, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I figured we'll do the receivers here. Receivers get their own little video here because there's a lot of receivers out there, a lot of good quality ones. Like I said before, we got a quarterback and halfback tier list out there. Be sure to check out that video. If you guys are new around here, be sure to sub. Throw a like on the video. It's much appreciated. Our first one is Robert Woods, the 92 overall limited card. Pretty good. Pretty pricey. Very tall, pretty fast. Obviously, I'm grading this just off next gen. He's a good receiver. I like him. We'll put him at A. Next is the Ltd Stefan Diggs. Not a huge fan of this card, honestly, especially for how much it is. It's a limited, so it's going to be pretty pricey. He's not the fastest. He's not the tallest. He doesn't have the best route running, catching. He's just kind of mediocre to me. So I'm going to put him in B. Next is Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, this is obviously his limited card. This is definitely one of the elite cards out there. This guy's got 92 speed, 91 acceleration, pretty much over 90 on all of his receiving except for short route running. This guy's definitely great. He's been great for some time now. I don't think he's going to get passed up really anytime soon. We do have Most Feared coming up, so I'm sure we'll get a pretty good receiver, but he's definitely going to be in the top 3 for a while. This is going to be our first S-tier receiver, Jerry Rice. Next is Julio Jones. This is his 92 overall limited that he had for the Ultimate Kickoff, I believe. Pretty good card. Only problem with him, he's a little bit slow now. Pretty good catching stats. He's a taller guy. He's good on next gen. I would say he's decent. Maybe a little higher than decent. I put him at A. Another Ultimate Kickoff here is Calvin Johnson. Honestly, he's pretty similar to Julio Jones. He's obviously a little bit better because he's a little bit faster. And his catching attributes are pretty close to the same, but he is a little bit taller than Julio. Julio's 6'3" and Calvin's 6'5". So I would put him above Julio. Definitely not enough to go S tier though. I'm going to put him in A. Next is the 90 overall Amari Cooper. He's I don't like this card. I love Amari Cooper as a player, but in Madden they kind of just did him dirty here. He's kind of slow. I think it's like 87 speed. His catching isn't the greatest. I think most of it's in the mid to high 80s, and he's only 6'1". So, Amari Cooper, I'm going to have to put him at C. Next is Mike Evans. Honestly, I think this guy's pretty much the same as Amari Cooper, except this card has height, and next-gen Madden is pretty important when it comes to height. So, for that, I'll bump him up to B. Mike Evans will go to B. Next is the Team Diamond Marquise Colston. I'm looking at these side by side, the Mike Evans and Colston, and they're pretty much the exact same. I know Colston's a little bit shorter. I think he's like 6'4" or something like that. And Colston might actually have a little bit of better catching attributes. But Colston, I'm going to keep him at B. Next is the one, the only Joshua Cribbs. And I'm not going to be biased here. Honestly, this is probably the best card Josh Cribbs has ever gotten. I know in history, Josh Cribbs, normally his card is just a good returner card, and he can't catch for nothing. They actually gave him good receiving stats this year. I like what I see, but the problem is he's kind of short. He's only 6 feet tall. But honestly, I've been playing with this card a lot, and he's been playing really good for me, so I'm going to put him in the B spot. And you guys will notice here that I'm going to be putting a lot of receivers in the B category because there's nothing really that jumps out. I'm not saying that these guys are bad. They're just kind of mediocre. And if you get these receivers and you put them on a theme team, that could be the difference between the B tier to the A tier. So, like I said, guys, I always preach, do theme teams, man. It makes your players better, and it makes it more fun. But anyways, our next one is TJ Houshmanzada. A lot of people say this guy's pretty good. I don't see anything crazy on this card attributes-wise, but I hear he plays pretty well. I haven't used him yet. But from what I'm seeing, again, man, I'm going to put him in B. Next is another Team Diamond, Charlie Joyner. A lot of people liked this card when he first came out, and I'm looking at his stats here. He's actually really good. He's got 91 speed, 90 acceleration. Pretty good. Receiving stats, everything's pretty much upper 80s and lower 90s. I would say he's a good slot back. He's only 5'11", so yeah, I'm going to keep him up there. He's going to be at a B. Next is Ahmed Rashad. Again, I haven't seen this card much. Just going off of his stats here. Nothing too crazy, your typical 90s for speed and acceleration. Nothing over 90 when it comes to his receiving, though. He's only 6'2", and his carrying is very low. I think it's like a 70 or 70 to 74, something like that. I'm not a big fan of this card. Honestly, I'm going to put him in there with Amari Cooper at C. Next is Team Diamond 90 overall, Ryzen. Honestly, man, I like this card because he's on my Browns theme team. But again, a lot of these Team Diamond receivers that they put out there are pretty much the same. 6 feet tall, 90 speed, 91 acceleration. Receiving stats are pretty much all high 80s and low 90s. Again, another decent receiver. Nothing jumps out like crazy. But, I mean, there seems to be a theme here with these Team Diamonds. They come out with a bunch of decent receivers so you can put them on your theme team and juice them up and make them a little bit better. So it makes sense why all these receivers are pretty much decent. So he's going to go to B tier. Next, we've got 90 overall Brandon Marshall. This was, I believe, the first legend receiver that we got. And honestly, this guy is still pretty good. He's starting to slow down a little bit. He's at 88 speed, 90 acceleration. His catching stats are great. This guy's a big body. He's 6'5". This guy definitely goes up and gets the ball. I like him a lot. But he's a little slow, like I said earlier. And I unfortunately, again, I gotta put him in B. Next is Jalen Waddle, the 89 overall Rising Stars card. He's got 91 speed, 91 acceleration. He's 5'10". He actually plays really well. For some reason, this card plays really well. And looking at his receiving stats, he shouldn't, because his receiving stats are terrible. I think his highest receiving stat is 88. Everything else is 85 or under, which is not good. I put him at B tier here. Honestly, I wish I could go back and change that. I actually would put him in C tier, just because of those receiving stats. Next is the 89 overall Tyreek Hill. A lot of people don't know about this card. This was a free card given out if you tuned into EA's little Twitch streams that they do. I didn't do it. I never got to use it. But looking at this guy's stats, he's fast. That's about it. He's just fast. 5'9", really short. His catching is horrid. Not good at all. And yeah, he's pretty much just good for a slot back and a good kick returner. I'll keep him at a C for now. I believe he has a Team of the Week upgrade as well, which will take him up to a 90, but still, I don't think that's enough to make him a great receiver. But definitely be on the lookout for a new Tyreek Hill upgrade. When he comes out with a new mid-90s card, that card is going to be nice. Next is Joey Galloway. I was a big fan of this card when he first came out. Campus Heroes. And he was probably one of the best receivers for a solid, week or two. And he was definitely on my squad. He's starting to get a little outdated, though. But I still think he is effective. I do like this card a lot. Very quick, good size, good catching. But I don't think he's the Calvin Johnsons, Julio Jones, and Jerry Rices of the world. I'm going to have to put him at B. Next is a new card that we actually just got yesterday. Chase Claypool, Rising Stars. This card is a beast. 91, 90 speed. Pretty much all 90s on his catching. He's 6'4", 238 pounds. This dude is a hoss. He had an 84 card that played really well as well. So yeah, 90 overall Chase Claypool. He's going to be a beast. I'm going to put him up there at A tier. Next is the Team of the Week, 92 overall Miles Austin. I was so happy to see this one. He does get Browns Kim. He did play there for 1 year. I honestly forgot about this guy, and it gets me excited when I see cards like this because it reminds me of how good he was. And they did him well here. He's got 91 speed, 93 acceleration, really good receiving stats. He's a bigger guy, 6'2", 215 pounds. Definitely like him. I'm going to put him at A tier. And last but certainly not least is our newest receiver that we've received. And the highest rated receiver is Will Fuller, 93 overall. I think this is a limited. Yeah, it is. He is the best receiver in the game, hands down. 93 speed, 93 acceleration. Great stats. He's 6 feet tall, 185. This dude's going to be a goon on the field, running around like crazy. Definitely like this guy. I'm putting him at S tier up there with Jerry Rice. All right, guys, so here's my list. As you can see, there's really no bad receivers out there right now. If I had to change this, though, if I had to take one guy and put him in D tier, unfortunately, it would have to be Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's receiving stats are hands down the worst out of all these receivers, so I'll go ahead and adjust that real quick here. Here you have it. This is my list. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys think there's something that needs to be changed here, let me know. We've got Most Feared coming up here tomorrow. I'm almost 100% positive we're going to get some receivers that will top this Will Fuller, no doubt about it. We could potentially even see that Tyreek Hill. So that Tyreek Hill at the D tier could be jumping all the way up to S tier if he gets a scary fast card or anything like that. So, yeah, guys. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to leave a comment below, throw a like on the video. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.